All right, man. I'm making this recording right now, man, because it's Friday the 17th. I just got from my kids' school, and they had, it's Black History Month, right? But the school is celebrating, I guess, the Chinese New Year. They're doing a dragon festival. And as I see all these children, predominantly white, and their parents there, and my children, some black children, some Asian children too, and it seems like some mixed kids are there. I'm just wondering, it's Black History Month, and as a parent, I'm struggling with a couple of things. So one of the things I'm struggling with is the fact that I want to be proud of my children. I never want children to see that, everything that they do, I'm going to have a criticism of it. As a father, I want to be proud and supportive of my children. It's my son's thing. It was the second graders doing this at the elementary school. But as a black man, as a black father myself, there's a part of me that has a problem with that because, again, the Asian New Year was in January, not in the 17th, halfway through. I mean, we're more than halfway through this month in Black History Month. And I initially have the same issue that every other person of color has when they come upon things like this. You want to go into complaining mode. You want to go to the teachers, you want to go to the principal who's white, and you want to go complain about why are you not celebrating us and our culture and our month. And I'm sure that that's because I've heard it everywhere else being complained about. But the thing I have to ask myself that I'm gonna ask even now is that what have we done to earn the praise and celebration of the other cultures? Because I thought about it. If I went up to the principal and said, "Man, y'all are doing this during, Black History Month," he could simply turn to me and say, "Well, what is your culture present day represent that we need to celebrate? What traditions do you have that we can honor and we can showcase?" Because they showed Tai Chi, they showed that China has 5,000 years of history, a rich history to celebrate. And when I look at those facts, I can't disagree with them. I would only be stuck in my feelings about the issue. And I'm just saying, what do we, as a black society, black culture, this is my question for even the younger generation. What are y'all doing that is building towards the respect of you all being honored when you become 40? For the 30-year-olds and 40-year-olds, what are we doing as a society, as a black society, from the pro-blacks to the Uncle Tom whites to whoever you say that, again, what does our society represent other than what we talk about that we can show that other cultures can pick out and say, this is the culture? The only thing I can see that I have no defense for why my culture should be celebrated. I can't go to a white person and say, look at the rich history of a black culture and here's what you should be showcasing. I don't even know what to tell him to showcase. So I had to slow my roll and pump my brakes to say, yo, my problem is not with them, it's with us. What do we have to tell them that they should be showing about black history? That, anything. Only thing we have is marches, and before that, but we don't really, just, okay, Black Wall Street. What else? What else do we have? They're going back and picking on 5,000 years of culture, of traditions. First of all, they said Chinese tradition. We talk about black culture. We don't have any black traditions. One of the things missing here. There are no black traditions. They're celebrating Chinese cultures, but they're celebrating the tradition of Chinese culture. And I'm going through this I'm talking to everybody now because I'm saying, man, they got a point. They got a point. I can't argue against that, man. I had to eat my pride. And this is something that, when I'm doing the videos, when I'm interviewing people, when I'm talking about, black history, people have done stuff, I'm talking about the people who have done and achieved things through hardships. And I'm looking at now is, man, we have to start owning and building. I'm providing a platform, I'm providing a site where people can own properties, and people still will not take advantage of it. They still will not take advantage of it. They will complain about not having, and we're always looking to get something. We're always looking to be handed something. We're always looking to be given something. And that's the daggone problem. That's one of the bigger problems that we have, is we're always looking for who can give us something. I'm looking for the principal, the school administration in an affluent area to acknowledge just me being black, not my tradition, not my culture. I mean, and I'm going to say, well, what do I have to stand on? What body of work can I tell them to look at that would be a representation of me as a black man, no matter how far black or pro-black you are, to where I'm at as an interracial married man? You know what I mean? Because again, it doesn't matter which black they're in front of. We all are presented by what's presented as a culture. So, again, I'm just asking this question, is that, yeah, we got to do better. Yeah, but how? I mean, again, we're not large landowners. We don't own large amounts of real estate. So even in a Black History Month, when they say, why shouldn't we celebrate another culture? They don't do that. And I mean, I don't know what they celebrate in May, but in May, you have Cinco de Mayo. Everybody dresses up. Everybody eats burritos. Everybody loves salsa. Everybody loves avocado. But again, there's no intrusion into their culture with another culture being celebrated. If anything, people do the cultural appropriation by embodying what is Mexican culture at that time. So I'm just saying, again, for all the people out there, man, this is one of the issues, is that, first of all, we don't have enough leadership, like I talked with Alex Combs, in our culture to show that, hey, look, man, we should be more like black people, because they're landowners, they're business owners. The things that are representing black culture are not the things that other cultures aspire to be. They don't. And the reason why I'm saying this is to wake people up to our representation is being hijacked by what looks cool, what looks fun, and that's what's being promoted. But again, in our greater society, they really have no use for us other than for us to be the court jester in the king's court. That's what we are. We're the court. Black culture is in a king's court. If you look at America as being a kingdom, we are the court jesters for entertainment, for the aristocrats and such. And they have the people that need the leadership, black leadership, because I'm going to call them out. You all are the council of jesters that are out there making, supporting there's no boycotts for people acting a fool. There's only boycotts for people who, they blur the lines or say something that doesn't keep the foolishness going. And I'm looking at it saying, what? And you'll say, well, what are you doing? Well, I am a landowner. I'm not selling. That's why I had a conversation with someone last night who was interested in buying a property. They asked me, am I a realtor? I said, no, I'm selling what I own. I'm not going into business selling someone else's property for them. I'm the property owner. She says, well, I can talk to a lawyer and they can look at I said, yeah, but it's still my contract. You can't change what I'm not willing to say yay or nay on. And she's like, well, how I haven't met you. And I'm like, well, I'm all over Facebook. Well, how do I know I'm talking to you, the person now? And I was like, well, how do you know the person, the realtor's selling you the actual owner? You never meet the owner. At least I'm out there. And it's no shot to realtors, but it's just a conversation over the concept. And I told her, I did say to her, I say, hey, I know it's hard to believe that a black man would own so much land. And that's a problem. People can't believe that a black man could own so much land. It's inconceivable. But I'm saying it has to be believable because I have it. I own it, all entitled. And she asked me what Ancestry Lands is. Ancestry Lands is the ideology behind who I am, one generation to the next, passing on land ownership, getting, and she loved everything about it. She just needs to verify. Even though I took her on the Kern County website to show I'm an owner, I walked her through everything that most people wouldn't take time to do. And still, we still have a problem with understanding that, yes, a black man could own so much land. We'll accept it if I was a multimillionaire, but how could an everyday average man that's just a nurse, been a nurse 20 years, in 4 years could own over 100 properties? How could that be? That's because I put in the work. People, we need to put in the work. It's not stop complaining for other people to give us some of their work. I should be one of many landowners that are black landowners. This hurts my heart because, for one, I realized that I didn't have anything in the dog in the fight but myself and what I've done. But again, our people as a whole need to wake up to being owners and not consumers. And even for Alex Coombs, he told me the other day, he said, Phil, people need to be explained. Yeah, I get that. But while you're explaining, people need to do the action. They need to own land, because if everybody in the hood owns one piece of property that's not in the hood, you start changing the conversation. Because again, they can start asking questions about what they own. But again, people are trying to be explained educational concepts, but they need to be told to go and buy to own. You own property. And then once you own the property, you can start asking the questions later. I got tons of cousins. My cousin Booch the barber and my nephew Kevin, they called me and say, hey, I got to pay my property taxes. Can you walk me through it? And I walked them through it. So they now are getting an education on being a real estate owner and paying taxes on your property. Sometimes you got to walk through it as you go through it. I got a doctor's appointment, people. It's 10:24 a.m. on the East Coast, February 17th. And again, I'm just saying is that, man, this is one of the reasons why we need to start owning. And again, all the bank mortgage owners, all the big ownership that other people talk about on Instagram, yeah. But again, it starts with the one person, the common man, common woman. We need to own. And again, it's really not just a black thing. It's going to be an everybody thing. Because the corporate entities are taking over and buying up all the real estate that they possibly can. So again, what's left for the common man? Phil Davis, Ancestry Lands. These are just my thoughts, folks, in my day-to-day travels. It's upsetting to me because when I look at being 42, I am now in the position where I have to go out there and be a voice to bring us back to the table, to say, hey, we have bargaining chips and negotiating power at the table to say, this is what black culture deserves. And one of the things I'm faced with is the people within that are behind me that, the knives in the back that want to poke in the back because they're not at the table. Well, again, you need to be what I need is people at the table that have as much ownership as I do. People at the table that all can speak as owners. And now I have my 100 properties. You have your 100 properties. The person got 1,000 properties over here. We're all a body of land owners. One of the things I have a problem with is most of the African Americans that buy properties from me, they will buy one property. Hispanic people that buy from me, they buy 4 to 5 properties, and they don't need to buy them all at one time. Sometimes they'll buy 2 at a time. Sometimes they'll buy 2 later, and they will just keep on buying to own multiple properties. Phil Davis, Ancestry Lands, ancestrylands.com. I'm bringing solutions to what we got to do to these problems. There's solutions, folks. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I'm trying to give out education as much as I'm talking about ownership. Everyone asks, my dad asks, how does it relate to land ownership? Because I, as a landowner, as a business owner, I'm looking at societal cracks that affect me as a landowner. The reflection of my culture reflects on me when I'm talking out there about owning land. Does that mean that, yeah, we can be cool? We can, but again, we should also be cool as doctors, lawyers, but we need to be owners. We can't, the job are just workers. We gotta be owners. Final thoughts, folks. Phil Davis, Ancestry Lands. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Stay tuned for lives and other land videos. Got tons of land videos, folks. Go watch some. We got shorts on land in English and Spanish. Go find a property for yourself, folks. Get into ownership, man. It's so important for us all. Phil Davis, Ancestry Lands, signing out. Take care.